Hey everyone, this is Mr. Ward giving you a quick look at making a teacher website. There are many reasons you might want to create a teacher website, the simplest being just having a place for your students to reference if they need to find class documents or files or even notes. It can also be used as a place to communicate with your students or parents by posting class announcements and information. Even if you already use a service like Google Classroom or Seesaw or Schoology, the website can be beneficial because students can know that they can always go to there and find whatever they missed. So if you post, say, notes to a lesson on your website, then your students can know that as long as they go there, they'll always find those notes. And finally, it just gives you a place to collect resources from around the internet. Say if you find fun educational resources that you want your students to use, having them on your website for them to find can be an easy way to get them involved with things like those. So here are some quick options for creating a teacher website. Perhaps the easiest method for creating a teacher website is through Google Sites, which you can get to at sites.google.com and signing in with your Google account. So once you get there, clicking blank site will immediately get you started. Up in the top left, whatever you put on your untitled site is the name that will show up in the browser. And then down here, whatever I put here is simply the name of this page. Once you've started that, to add in elements to your page, all you have to do is go over to the Insert tab and choose what you want to add. So say if I want to add some text to it or type something out, all I got to do is click text box and begin typing there. So here's the text I added to my home page. I can also change the style of it. So right now it's normal text. I can change it to a title if I want to organize my page a little bit, or I can use these headings or subheadings to change it up. Now let's say I want to add a picture to my website. All I got to do is click images, which will give you the option to upload a picture from a computer, or if you go to select, it gives you a variety of options like searching your Google Drive for a picture. You can use by URL, which just allows you to use a link to an image that you found, or you can search Google for an image to use. What you should keep in mind about this is if you search Google Images through Google Sites, what will pop up is only pictures that are free to use. So if there's copyrighted images or images that are not free to use, then they will not pop up in the site's search. So any of these pictures that pop up should be free to use. So I'm going to select this one to insert in. So now it's popped up on my website. And once you've created the elements, you are free to move them around by dragging and dropping. So let's say I want to put the picture next to my text. I can do it like that. And then once it's there, I can actually expand it or shrink it as much as I want. So that's just a basic layout for my homepage. You can also add these other elements down here. For example, a table of contents will just show the headings and the titles from your page at the top of the page. An image carousel is simply a collection of images that rotate through each other. A button is simply a link. So if I added a button to my page, just as an example of a button, I've named this button Google and I've linked it to google.com and then I insert it. Now if anybody clicks this button on my page, they'll be linked to google.com, and you can obviously link that anywhere. A YouTube element will obviously link a YouTube video that you found to your page. A calendar will allow you to attach a Google Calendar to your site. So say if you have a calendar for your website, you can attach that in. And then these others are just various types of interactive elements you can add in, whether that's a Google document, a slide, a spreadsheet, or whatever. Now let's say you're finished with your homepage and you want to add a new page. Going to page and clicking the plus button will allow you to create a new page. So let's say I want to create a page for notes from class. I just create notes. And now up at the top of the website, there's a link to my notes page. And just like before, I can add whatever I want to this page. Let's say I want to have a collection of pages under notes for different topics. If I go over here to my pages and click these dots, I can create a subpage. So how that works is when I create it, it'll pop up under the notes page. So here I've given it a title, How to Write a 5-Paragraph Essay. So once I create it, now if I go up here to the top, going to notes gives me a selection of pages to choose from. So let's say I've created several subpages, but I want to collect them all on the notes page. All I have to do is go to the notes page and click the button. So by adding in a link to each one that way, you can have a collection of documents or pages on your notes page. So I'm going to name this one How to Write a 5-Paragraph Essay. And then on the link, you can type a link to a regular website, or it gives you prompts for linking other pages on your website. So I'm going to link it to How to Write a 5-Paragraph Essay. And now that shows up as a link on this page. And then my last little bit over here under Insert, if you click a layout, it'll just add a template to your page. So say if I want to use this layout with some pictures and text, that'll just add it as a template, and then I can go from there. And then over here under themes simply just change the basic appearance of the site. If you want to get a preview of what your site looks like, clicking this link will take you to a preview of how others will see your website. And then once you're done, clicking publish will make your website available. The next option for creating a teacher website is through Weebly.com. If you've been following along my technology training, you know that my website is a Weebly website. I like to use it because it's simple and easy to create a professional looking website with a lot of flexibility. Once you get started, after signing in on Weebly and getting started, it'll ask you some questions such as what type of website you want to create. So for example, I don't need an online store, so I'm just doing a basic website. It also gives you a variety of themes to choose from, so like this theme down here. And just so you know, themes are not permanent. If you decide you want to change the theme later, you are free to do so. And then I'm going to start editing. Once you get started, it'll ask you to select your domain name, which is simply what people type into the browser. You'll have the option to pay for some domains that look professional, such as I'm using a test name right now because this is just for test, wordtest.com down here. But if you want to use the free option, if you look down here, it'll give you the option of creating a name that's something.weebly.com. Right now it's unavailable. So I changed the name a little bit, and now wordtestsite.weebly.com is available. And since I'm going with the free option, that's what I'll stick with. And then once I publish the website, it'll be available at that domain.com. So to start with, I kind of have this basic website already set up from the theme, but I can change it around as much as I want. So for example, I can change the name of my homepage. I can also change this banner up here to be a picture rather than just simply a color. So if I have a picture to choose from, I can go down here and click replace or edit background. And you can change the color, or you can change it to an image. So an image is obviously just finding an image on the internet or uploading one to put in the background of your header. And then down here, a gradient is simply a color that transitions to another color. So for example, this gradient is simply this red color transitioning to white across the top. If a feature has this lightning bolt next to it, that means it is a pro feature, so you have to pay for it. You cannot use it with the free version of Weebly, so you do not have the option to create a video header for your website. If I want to change any of these pages up here, all I have to do is go to the Pages tab and change their name or delete them entirely and start from scratch. So if I go to these dots and click delete, then I can delete it and just start from scratch. Weebly works similar to Google Sites, and all you have to do is select these elements and you can actually drop them where you want them to go. So taking this image and dragging it over here will allow me to insert a picture into my website. And then you have the option, just like before, to search. Weebly searches through Flickr.com. So here's my search results through Flickr.com, and I can use these images in my website. You also have the option, of course, to upload. Image URL is image URL just simply is pasting a link to an image you found. Just like on Google Sites, you can also create subpages. And the way you create a subpage is you take a page that exists and just drag and drop it underneath another page. So now when you look at your website, if you hover over the full page, it'll bring up the subpages as well. This is how I've created my website, which has the lessons page followed by the subpages of lessons that you can choose. Clicking this button up here will take you to a preview of the site, so I can see what my website looks like on a desktop browser and also what it looks like on a mobile browser. And then once I am finished, if I want to publish it, all I have to do is come over here and click publish. Those are my two favorite options for beginners creating a teacher website. I will list some alternatives on my website in case you want to look at some other options. Hopefully this information has been useful to you and inspires you to get started creating your own teacher website. Thank you.